This is the Double O podcast, and I'm a bit overtired today because I had to sleep in my car. I was tired to drive home safely, so I stopped at the parking and slept in my car. And this is why Bella is talking 95% of the time today. So, Bella, what is this episode about?
I even put on my glasses because today we're going to dive into the more scientific stuff, how you can better sleep, why you maybe don't sleep so good after you drank alcohol. And then we are also going to have a look at how alcohol is seen in our culture and how it is showed in advertising and why that is making alcohol so deeply ingrained in our society and how we can maybe flip that around a little bit.
Perfect. So let's dive into the episode.
Anything missing?
I was I was waiting for have fun. Welcome, 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 all you curious people, no boozers, and wine lovers, to the 7th episode of Double O, your weekly go-to show on non-alcoholic drinks in the podcast universe.
So you didn't sleep so well, although you probably didn't drink alcohol. And I know that. I mean, I have dealt with really bad insomnia for a few months. And I tried out a lot, tried melatonin, and every time I told people that I have this insomnia problem, they were like, "Yeah, why don't you drink a red wine or maybe drink a warm beer?" Like these tips that are not really helping. And back then, I didn't know why scientifically it doesn't really make sense to drink alcohol when you want to sleep. So now today, we are going to have a look why it is not the best idea and what it is doing to your sleep rhythm. And for that, I had a look at two articles that summed it up. Research found out that nearly 30% of US, it's again a US scientist, adults drink alcohol to help them fall asleep, while 67% of people who experience insomnia report using alcohol to sleep better.
Crazy.
But the problem is alcohol inhibits the release of melatonin, which is your primary sleep signal or your primary hormone that you need. And also, it's a diuretic. I had to Google that word, but it basically means it makes you pee more often. So, guess what? You have to run to the toilet, and that also makes you interrupting your sleep. When it comes to falling asleep more quickly, alcohol indeed has a drowsy impact. So it makes you fall asleep quicker, but you don't really get the quality and also the quantity of sleep that you need to feel rested. And for example, I have an Aura ring,
War.
which really helps me, or which really helps me to look at this data, like sleep latency, how fast you fall asleep, then the REM phase and the deep sleep phase, and that's really, really interesting. And I also found out that when I drank alcohol, my sleep quality really, really decreases. It's really bad.
Okay.
And yeah, to better understand why, let's have a look at what happens to your body after you drink a sip. Because as the alcohol is digested, it's absorbed into the bloodstream and carried into every organ of your body. And that happens in just 90 seconds. So that's why you sometimes feel the effects of alcohol really quickly, and you're like, "Oh wow, I already feel it." Yeah, and then like other toxins, the body needs to neutralize. The alcohol is sent primarily to the liver to be metabolized, and then the liver converts the alcohol into acetate, and finally carbon dioxide and water. And there's a lot of steps in between, but I just wanted to cut it a little short because carbon dioxide and water are both liquids or material that the body can easily get rid of. And the body takes about 4 to 5 hours to get rid of half the alcohol you consume. That means it can take around 25 hours before all of it is cleared from your system.
That's
Did you
crazy.
know
It's like
that?
coffee.
Yeah.
It's like coffee. It's the same with caffeine. Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, as you can imagine, in the meantime, you still have the effects on a lot of your organs and processes in the body, including the sleep. And then
So
yeah,
so basically, the espresso martini is the worst drink to have before going to sleep.
it is because it also contains sugar, and sugar makes you more awake and just more heightened. So that's really the worst thing. But I mean, you can have an espresso martini at 11 in the morning if you wish to.
Sure,
That's
day drinking. Why
that's the
not?
best timing for it.
Wow.
Have you read about or learned about the neurotransmitter GABA? It's also
GABA.
all written in the GABA. It's also all written in the article, but in a nutshell, it is increased through alcohol, which blocks certain signals in the central nervous system and produces a calming effect, which is why it feels easier to fall asleep after drinking. And that's why sometimes we feel very slow and sleepy after we drank a few glasses of wine. But alcohol increases the level of the stress hormone, epinephrine, and cortisol in your body. And a few hours after your last drink, it is increasing your heart rate. And that's why
Mhm.
sometimes in the middle of the night, your liver is working and metabolizing the alcohol. You wake up and you can't fall back asleep. Due to this effect of alcohol suppressing the central nervous system, the reverse then happens because the body has been suppressed for such a long time that it then wants to kick in even more extreme and kicks into this overdrive and wakes you up.
And this is what your ring basically tracks, right? So your heart rate.
Yeah.
What do I do if I want to drink a good glass of wine or, I don't know, a cocktail or a long drink? And I also want to sleep well.
What you can do is just stop earlier. So allow your body at least 3 hours before bed to metabolize the alcohol from your system. And if you have eaten more, then of course that varies a bit, but 3 hours is a good orientation. And
Okay.
then you can hydrate often. So alternate your alcoholic drinks with water to help fight the dehydration in your brain. And then lastly, avoid mixers. So beverages that have sugar or caffeine, basically an espresso martini, are more likely to stimulate your internal clocks when you're trying to wind down. And what you can also do when you don't want to drink alcohol to fall asleep, you can have a glass of tart cherry juice because this is a natural source of melatonin.
Pure?
Yeah, I think it's
Oh.
a little bit sugary. So,
Okay. So not 100% juice, probably.
yeah.
What about cherry wine?
Cherry wine.
Yeah, there's cherry wine. There's wine made of cherries. There's a good version from Hungary. It's a traditional method, sparkling cherry wine.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I guess 2 years ago in Austria. Oh, it's quite good. It's I wouldn't say it's still affordable. It's 20 euro a bottle, something like this, but it was quite tasty. And I mean, there is alcohol and there is tart cherry, but mm, I don't know.
Have
I
you
would still
ever
keep on the 3 hours thing, I guess.
Yeah, stick with that. And keep in mind that your body wakes up in the middle of the night because it's like, oh, I've been suppressed for such a long time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. And the older you get, the more often you have to go to the toilet,
Yeah.
especially as a man. It is what it is. Good. Okay, so let's say it's 8 p.m. and I know I have to stop drinking right now because I want to go to bed at 11 and sleep well. And then there is this advertisement: the day goes, Johnny Walker comes. I don't know if this is the right translation, but this was the term in German. And right now, I'm really looking forward to a glass of wine or a glass of, I don't know, Johnny Walker. And what now? Hmm?
The thing is,
Advertise.
Alex, we have been manipulated into drinking all our lives. We get rewarded for drinking alcohol, we get validation. I mean, sometimes, actually, my dad sometimes is proud of how much alcohol I can drink. And isn't that just crazy?
How does he know?
I don't want
Yeah,
to
no,
comment on
I have this camera in your
that.
room, and I just wanted to say appreciate your 4 long drinks last night. Good
No,
girl.
sometimes I'm like, yeah, how much I drank, and I wasn't even drunk. I mean, sometimes I was even proud of myself. And we see that our idols do it. We see our parents do it.
Yeah.
And people often buy with an eye toward anticipated experiences. What does that mean? When we want to have a great meal together, to bring the family together, or if we have a nice occasion to celebrate something, it is always automatically connected to either champagne for celebration, or romance and red wine, or beer and sport, or yeah, bringing the people together and celebrate. You won't see a glass of water in advertisings. And that is done by design because people make money with it. It's just invented by marketing departments of those companies that want to sell something. And of course, if you drank, you're also more likely to spend more. So it all makes sense. So, what I just want everyone to pay attention to is, how is alcohol in media and advertising shown? Just pay attention for one day. And it is really well documented, and this article is just an example for it, that people make purchases based on emotions, because ultimately the crave for a good experience is more than the actual crave for the thing. And this is especially true for younger adults. And when alcohol brands sell experiences rather than just their product, they automatically sell the product just with the experience. And there was an example in the article from Pernod Ricard, a brand that makes signature liquors, and they also own several brands of whiskey, vodka, and wine. And they developed an occasion-based strategy. And these occasions they defined for their marketing included high-end drinking, drinking to impress, like for example, with the champagne
Yeah.
in the club and you're the king of everything, and the sharing of drinks. Yeah. Popping bottles. And the numbers showed that the strategy really has paid off. Problematic.
Not defending alcohol in general, but I mean, we both work in marketing, and this does not only account for alcohol. It accounts for everything. I don't know. You're sitting in the cinema, there is this advertisement for popcorn or for Doritos, and 2 seconds later, the door opens and anyone wants popcorn or Doritos? And like, I don't know why, but yes. Yeah, it is like that.
Yeah, probably because he saw in the advertising that the person that is eating those Doritos is super happy and is having a great time with her partner, his partner, and the kids. And it's just, yeah, these emotions that are being transferred. Which brings us to the next article. And this is actually something that I just found on LinkedIn. Wine is the answer. What was the question? And I just wanted to, to show all of you that there are so many statements that we don't even really realize anymore, but they are everywhere and they are used as funny and relatable. And they just normalize and often glorify wine or alcohol in general, saying that alcohol is the key to finding the truth, to having a great experience, to have passion, to find true meaning in something. And it's also connecting artists and poets to drinking alcohol.
Mhm.
And those are just a few examples of statements that are related to wine. And I
Mhm.
just wanted to maybe point out one or two. For example, I cook with wine. Sometimes I even add food to it. Or wine brings to the light the hidden secrets of the soul, gives being to our hopes, bids the coward flight, drives dull care away, and teaches new means for the accomplishment of our wishes. Which is from Horace, which is a poet. So, yeah, I don't want to criticize this, but I want to raise the awareness that there are so many ingrained perceptions to minimize the negative effects, when what I would rather manifest in our society is that it's not the alcohol that does that, that brings the passion and brings the great experience, but the sharing of the moment, the sharing of a meal or a thought together. And it's not necessarily through the alcohol, but that's just the product that you maybe have in your hands while doing it.
Yeah.
Or maybe, do you know these pictures and memes with those really large glasses and then the
One
text,
glass.
I'm I'm only drinking one glass of wine as prescribed by my doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, let's be clear. I don't condemn them. I also love wine. I also romanticize wine sometimes, but it's important. And I also have to remind myself that it's really not for the sake of alcohol and that it helps with all kinds of problems, but for the great taste and the community and the moment it is shared in. That can be something without alcohol, as this
Mhm.
beautiful drink of the week that we're going to speak about later.
I'm very curious. I've never tried it. What you said something very interesting. You said that it's deeply rooted. All this we have to celebrate and we need alcohol and all this kind of stuff. And the only reason of all those hundreds of things why we drink wine, why we drink beer, why we drink cocktails that cannot be replaced by alcohol-free drinks is intoxication. So if you just drink to
Mhm.
get this little buzzy feeling in your head, this is not possible without alcohol, except you replace it by other substances. But the
Mm.
rest, like the social gatherings, celebration, this is also possible without. So, and
Yeah.
I guess this is, we had a chat yesterday with some people working in the alcohol free industry, and they all said this is what we're heading towards with our advertisement campaigns as well. The thing that you just talked about from Pernod Ricard, they will do the same because you can celebrate, I don't know, New Year's Eve with a great free alcohol sparkling or with I don't know, with a kombucha tea, whatever. It's possible. It's just not in our brains. And I mean, alcohol is deeply rooted in our culture, in our society, and we have to deal with it. I mean, when this guy, what was his name again, Horace, said this words 2,000 years ago, he didn't even know what alcohol does to his liver.
Also back then they had to drink wine to stay hydrated because water wasn't drinkable. So
Yes, it was
it
healthier to
had
drink wine rather than water. It's crazy.
exactly. And somehow sometimes we just forget that. And we forget that, I mean, why do we drink? To have that feeling of being a little tipsy and just live in the moment. We can also get this live in the moment and forget about your problems for a few minutes or hours. We can also get that through other means or through other ways, like meditation. And I don't want to drift away here too much, but I think this like health consciousness movement or trends, they are also helping to make people a little bit more aware of why they are drinking and what they maybe actually need in the moment rather than a drink.
Do you know the second and besides humans only animal on the planet that intoxicates itself on purpose?
I
Because I
I
mean,
kind of
there's the stories
remember.
about monkeys eating fermented food like bananas
Yeah,
that
I
has
just wanted to say
alcohol,
that. Yeah.
but this is not on purpose. It's just they're hungry, they don't know it, and then in the end they realize, oh, this banana was probably too old. No,
Is
but
it
on
koalas?
purpose. No. Yeah,
Koala
it
bears?
happens with koalas when they eat the leaves, yes, but on purpose
Eucalypt,
means you
yeah.
do it because you want this dizzy feeling.
Is it some kind of fish?
It's dolphins, and what they do
Yeah.
is, you know, the puffer fish, the animals with the that look like hedgehogs?
Oh, yeah, 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 I read
Yeah,
that.
and when you hit them, they extract the poison, and but it's
Ah.
it's just so few that they just get high. So what you can see is every now and then there was it was first recorded, I guess, 10 years ago by the BBC. You have one puffer fish, and the dolphins are just playing like volleyball with him underwater, and they hit it with the nose, and then they're like, "Whoa, this is crazy, man!" And then they just play volleyball with the puffer fish. Maybe in 10 years
Oh
we
my
have
God.
a dolphin podcast talking about moderate pufferfish playing.
That
Let's
sounds
see.
like so much fun. Like just think about being a dolphin. Everybody loves you. People always want to see you jump out of the water. You get to play drunk volleyball. You don't have to care about extinction. Okay, yeah, you do. That was exaggerated. But I think from all the fish, dolphins have the greatest spot position.
But if you want to play drunk nude volleyball, you can go to a nudist beach and just play beach ball and have a drink. If this is your story of living your life, go for it. The nudist beach is waiting for you. Okay, that was a crazy transition, I would say. But you have another article, I guess.
Yeah, I have no idea what time this is from, but it is a documentary from a German television program. And they interviewed people that are, yeah, in their 20s, but also I think one woman was amongst the people that was in her 50s. And it also deals with the fact that people just expect you to drink. And in our society, activities when you meet with friends on a Friday or Saturday evening, they usually revolve around drinking. And it's also really interesting. If they don't drink, they see that other people have a fear of losing control and be observed by the sober person, and that there are people that are really highly personally offended if you don't drink a glass of wine at dinner or toast with champagne at a wedding, and they don't even talk to that specific in that specific situation with the girl that was reporting on that. And it's so funny because if you say you don't smoke anymore, it's like, wow, great, you did it, congratulations. But when you say you stopped drinking, it's like, oh, did you have a problem? Was it that bad? Yeah, it's always perceived differently. And additionally, a good message out of the article was that this one girl said, I would almost say that it is the people who drink a lot of alcohol themselves who have a problem with my decision of not drinking as much. So you always have to justify yourself. I think that is true, and that's also my personal observation. If you don't drink, there's people that just leave you alone and be like, okay, yeah, your decision. And then there's these other people that I think they are scared of showing themselves when they are drunk and they know that you are fully aware. And then another girl always felt pressure to drink, especially with her young friends. It was being part of a community, and without the alcoholic drink in her hand, she felt like she didn't belong. And I think, especially in your teenage age and beginning of your 20s, when you study or when it's extremely important for your personality development, you are sometimes forced into drinking just because everybody does it. That can be problematic at some point. And yeah, let's just be all a bit more aware of that.
What were
And yeah,
the most stupid questions you were asked?
what I've been asked.
Yeah. Like, you don't drink, you say, oh no, thank you. No champagne for me today. What did the people say? What did they answer?
Are you sick? Are you boring?
Are you
Why?
boring?
Like that. Yeah.
Okay, this is
how
almost
how
funny.
how can you have fun when you don't drink?
Good one.
Like they, and then sometimes, yeah, if you just say no, thank you, they will always come back and be like, "Are you sure? Are you really sure? You can't toast with us with a glass of water."
Do you know this meme? It's been some years ago actually. This guy, he said, "You don't drink? Why?" And then he started talking about it, and he said, "It's like saying you don't eat mayonnaise. Why? Are you addicted to mayonnaise?"
Yeah.
Do you know that? And
No, I don't know,
yeah,
but it's on point. Yeah.
and I really like the example you brought up with cigarettes, because this is accepted to be bad, and I mean, it's your decision to smoke, but it's everybody accepts that it kills you sooner or later. And you normally it's the same with alcohol, but people think when they just drink a bit and it's related to our culture, it's deeply rooted, it's totally fine. And yeah, this social pressure is a huge thing. What we thought about is that so Bella and me, we collect stupid questions and we create creative answers you can give to the people. We will put them on social media for the next couple of weeks to give you some inspiration. So, for example, I don't know, if somebody says, "Are you ill? Do you have a problem?" You just say, "No, I'm just allergic to hangovers." And this is this kind of funny version, but of course, it's also sometimes okay to answer in a serious way, just like you said it. No, thank you. I don't want to drink. It's my personal decision, and please accept it. And I guess if we try to be aware ourselves and also try to communicate this, especially in our friendship with our friends, with our colleagues, we can raise this level of awareness with everybody, especially in society, and sooner or later it will be more accepted. And probably in 20 years, when you say, "Oh, I'd like to have a bottle of wine tonight," everybody's like, "You want to drink wine? Really?" Oh, by the way, I have a funny example for you. I was visiting one of my best friends, Matthias. He lives in France. He's married to a very lovely French girl. And we were sitting on the terrace. It's been 3 years or 4 years ago, probably. It was 7 p.m. and we had a bottle of wine together. It was four people, and we drank the bottle in about 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And then I said, "Okay, I will go for another bottle. Let me check the wine cellar." And he was like, "Are you an alcoholic? A second bottle of wine tonight?" And I was so surprised
What?
because for me it was totally normal. Four people, maybe two, three bottles during the whole evening. But for him it was just like, "Are you crazy? Are you an alcoholic?" And it touched me so deeply. I was thinking about this months later, and then in the end I realized it's maybe normal for us. Like, I mean, we're wine geeks. We love wine, and both of us, we drink moderately. We enjoy good wine, but it doesn't count what the quality of the end product is, because, I mean, either shitty or good wine, if it's 4 bottles a night with four people, it's probably not a good idea. And this is what he wanted to tell me. That's not usual to drink so much wine. And Matthias, thank you very much, because this started my awareness for alcohol.
So yeah, really good. I think everyone has these moments in life, but I think it's interesting that he's living in France, where wine is much more of a cultural heritage and cultural tradition
It is.
to drink, at least from what I know from France. And one thing that also just came to my mind is sometimes when I drink with friends, we already, or they, but I don't want to exclude myself, we already drink electrolytes to
Yes.
prevent our hangover, and we eat a lot before just to have a good foundation. So we have so much effort into preparing us to drink that it
Yeah.
doesn't really, that it's not so much fun to drink anymore, because you're like, oh, I have to think of so much, and if I don't have the electrolytes now, and if I don't drink enough water, then my brain is going to be a desert tomorrow.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that much effort. It should be fun. It should be moderate, but enjoyed, and in a way that will still make us feel good the next day and able to conquer our activities.
Yeah. As you said it, I mean, it's all about moderate drinking. It's about conscious consumption. And I made a whole episode on how to drink more consciously, because my friend Christian asked for it, because he's always said, "You are always talking about moderate drinking, but what does it mean and how can I do it?" And I made a whole episode on it. And just to summarize it, conscious drinking means that at all times you're aware of what you're drinking, how much you're drinking, and what this does to yourself and to your environment and the situation you're in. So I don't know, if you know that you have to drive people home safely, you probably should not drink at all. And yeah, this is, I mean, alcohol is probably, maybe it's a sin, but if you drink consciously, it's a smaller one. And this,
Very
my
nice
friend,
transition.
was the translation to your drink of the week.
Yeah, maybe in the meantime, you can quickly check which episode this was of your Pinot Pixel podcast, because if people are interested in the
143.
episode, 143.
Yes.
Perfect. So, our drink of the week is not a sin. This is the beautiful bottle. I really love the label. It's with gold, and there's a snake on it. So they really put a lot of thoughts into the creation and design of the label, and also into the wine, I would say. So what do we have here? We have a very light colored Riesling. It's originally made from Riesling as a grape variety. Then they
German?
added, it's a German product. It's from Falkenberg. They
Okay.
didn't really explain, at least I didn't found it, the method with which they remove the alcohol. Probably vacuum distillation, I would assume, but it's really just an assumption. Then they added a fine perlage, as with all the perlages in the alcohol-free wines. I think the bubbles could be a little smoother, but it's, I think, more thought as a still wine with a little bit of twist. And the twist also comes from its really, really great aromas of ginger and orange peel. So that
Is it
really gives
natural
it.
aromas or is it
It
added
didn't
aromas?
say. It didn't.
Is it on the
That's
list?
probably added. Yeah, it was added. They added natural ginger aroma and orange peel distillate. Yeah, so we have 3.8 grams of sugar for
So maybe
100 milliliters, 19 calories. So for all the people that are that are a little bit more conscious of summer body coming and keep an eye on their calorie intake. That is an important fact. And so I really like it. It's not too sweet. It's very aromatic. It gives you a really fresh feeling. It's perfect for a summer day or night. I drank it mostly solo, but you can also pair it so well with Asian food or when you have a nice pumpkin soup. I could imagine that very well. But through the very aromatic, gingery, orangey feeling, it's also nice to just drink it by itself and enjoy it for what it is.
nice. You know why it's smart to put ginger into a de-alcoholized product? Ginger has this, I mean, you have to play it very well, but it has this slight sharpness in the end, in the
Yeah,
finish, that gives you this feeling of slightly being alcoholic, like the replacement of alcohol.
exactly. The
Great idea.
spiciness
Yes, exactly.
that you also feel when you drink alcohol.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it. So, Alex, what's going on next week? Any events that people should know about and book their last minute tickets?
Oh, I mean, it's not wine related, but I will be at the OMR festival in Hamburg, biggest marketing conference, I would say, I guess, in Europe.
Mhm.
I guess there will be some wine and alcohol-free drinks as well. Not really related for me personally, but I will be there. And what else? The 9th of May, Thursday, the first alcohol-free Weinfest wine party in Germany. Looking forward to it. We will have some interviews with the people, try to find out why they really care about alcohol-free Weinfests. And maybe, I don't know, some people try to get some alcohol as well. We will figure that out.
It's going to be the first mover event. I'm really so excited to seeing how it all turns out and how people perceive it. So if you are interested in experiencing that stuff and really write history, make history with Senso and also with us, then
Be
stop
there.
by, check it out. And if you have any recommendations, stuff that you would like us to talk about, or want to recommend this episode to your friends, we are really, really happy if you share it. And as always, start your week right by making conscious decisions.
Ciao, ciao.